Phil Phails, that stillness, an honest check-in. We did a check-in in the beginning, but this will be a more conversational one. Where are we now? A genuine check-in between two people who have been on parallel journeys since they last spoke. Rather than a theme-first format, this one follows the natural thread of two honest people catching each other up on what's changed, what's broken, what's grown, and what's still unfinished.
Phil Phails for you.
Yeah, what's shifted in you since we last talked? Or what stayed stubbornly the same?
That's hard because I don't even remember where I was when we last talked.
I've been coming to the studio for... How long have I been coming to the studio?
A while.
A year?
Is it? Yeah.
Maybe. I want to get a doctor to come and talk to us about how yoga changes your body. I just don't know how I'd find one that could tell us. Like, how does it physically change your body? Like, whether it's your muscles or your tendons or your bones, like, what physically changes? Kind of like they did with the meditators. They brought them over, they put them in the MRI, and they like get in a meditation state. They could see what changed.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a digression.
Yeah.
Since it's been, we're still studying, right? Let's just call it a year ago.
Okay. Oh. A lot has changed.
Yeah, what's changed?
I mean, we've already talked about some of it because that was even less than a year ago, right? When I was really struggling. Really struggling as far as my work and not bringing it home. And I think that, what else has changed? I think as time goes on, I think, well, you might have to censor this out, but the phrase that came to mind is I give less fucks.
We can say that.
Yeah. Of course, not about like people and the work that I do or any of that, but all the things that used to maybe kind of govern how I moved through my day and interacted with people, I give less fucks, you know? And that's been, I'm not sure what has shifted that. Is it hormones? Is it growing older? Is it being a mother? Because being a mother definitely changes everything.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But within the last year, I've kind of stepped into a place where it feels good.
To give less fucks.
Yes. Yeah.
In this portion of our talk, we're going to say the F word over and over, y'all. If you've got kids or whatever, they'll probably say the F word too. These kids these days, they say it. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So giving less Fs. Less fucks.
What about you?
Man, what has changed? What has changed? I'm older, but that's such a small amount of time. I think that's probably true for me, but that's an easy answer. I should come up with my own answer. What has changed in the year since we've talked? I think with my daughter, I've relaxed. And that's a version of giving less Fs. With my daughter who's experiencing some challenges and has, which brings me to a discussion we could have around what's it like to parent neurodivergent kids, which you do, and I do, and I'm also neurodivergent. But there's just been this like, it's not going to be ideal.
No.
And I need to love what it is and not the idea of it.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
And I think I've just shed things to get there. Like my daughter's now in Utah at a facility. And I would have never thought I'd let that happen for too long, but she's been there for a long time. And I got to a place where I was like, I guess she needs that. Yeah. I think that's changed. Oh, yeah. I'm like almost empty nested, dude. So I've been with the sadness of that. My 17-year-old is pretty much, she's got her own car now, so she's choosing not to come here a lot. And I'm not making any requirements on her. I'm basically trying to tell her, hey, you're old enough now to decide where you are, when you are. And she's choosing to be at her mom's a lot more. And so I don't see her. And I've moved through the sadness of that. And I guess I'm not sad about it unless I think about it. Now I think about it, there's some sadness present, but that's something that's changed. I've got more time to myself. So I do exercise and bike and the show and all these things. That's changed. I don't know. I've had a girlfriend for a year.
Yay.
More than a year now, Jennifer. And we went on a road trip for like 7 days.
Wow.
And it went really well.
That's
which is
great.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
That is a thing.
And so then I gave her codes to the doors. So she can punch in codes and get in.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, oh, well, this is the time.
This is the time.
Yeah. So there's some amount of companionship that I'm experiencing that I haven't in a long time.
Yeah.
That feels really good.
That's great.
It's supportive. It's, and I jokingly tell my friends, so I'll tell you, she works at a school district helping special needs kids do testing to find accommodations.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the perfect partner for me.
She's constantly testing you to give you accommodations. Yeah. That's funny.
So yeah, those are things that have changed for me, I think. I'm getting older. We're getting older. At some point we'll be like, we're not the youth anymore. There's some amount of like, how do I give back? Which this is kind of a little bit, but how do I reorient in the world? I need a role model. Right? Is there a moment in the past year where your practice failed you? Where yoga or clinical training or social work wisdom didn't give you what you needed?
Oh, many. Yes. But I think, I don't know. I kind of enjoy being in environments where it's required that I have to go beyond my limits to learn more, to do better, And in the beginning, I think that was overwhelming and kind of deflating. Like I'm in over my head. I shouldn't be doing this, And then
You're good. Keep talking.
And then I think at a certain point I realized that there's always going to be moments when I feel that way. And so that's when I think you ask for help in whatever way you can get it, So for me, I was like, I need a clinical supervisor that has direct and related experience to what I'm doing, because...
Did you find one?
I did.
You have one? Okay.
Yeah. Or, we were talking about your group earlier. It's finding the right group that fits your needs when you feel like you've been failed by whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've felt that way many times. And sometimes it was kind of debilitating. And I was like, okay, well, how do I make this less debilitating? What do I need? Right.
Yeah.
And then trying to fill that need.
Well, at a certain point, you've got yoga, social work, therapeutic, all these things. And at a certain point, I imagine in your life, meeting people with the intent to heal and to help, you're bringing all those things to bear, plus just experience in a way that's not as, oh, I'm pulling from my social work toolkit. I'm pulling from my yoga toolkit. You're just like, I'm pulling from my life, the soup of my life. But even that fails you sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm reading that. I'm rereading Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication. And I love it. I love that framework. But then I just think, ugh, it doesn't work because, well, maybe because I'm not executing it properly, but because the world doesn't recognize that.
Yeah.
It's like it almost requires some openness from the others.
Yeah.
To really lean into it.
But I think that goes back to giving less Fs.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you did the best that you could, you're doing all the nonviolent communication and you're doing all the self-reflection and you're doing the best you could with whatever the situation was and the world's not open to it, then it's like, Yeah.
Yeah. What's that let them theory? Have you read that?
No.
Let them. People have been talking to me about this book, Let Them. And it's basically accepting what is. It's just, you know, loving what is. Let them. If you're not going to accept my nonviolent communication, then accept this violence.
Yeah. Fist in your face. That's what you just did.
Yeah, fist in I don't want to do that, though.
No, I know you don't.
Fist in people's face. But I did have a moment. I wonder if you shared your register moment. We could share moments. I was driving down the street, street, small street. That's not a major thoroughfare.
Yeah.
And and there was a big truck driving down the middle of the street. And I'm like trying to hug one side. And as we get closer, I think this truck's going to hug the other side and we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Oh, wow.
And it gets to this chicken moment where it's like, what the heck is going on? Like, yeah, those did go out. And he did finally at the last minute pull over to the side and we passed each other really closely.
Yeah.
And he said some things. And some of them had expletives. And I was like, I rolled down my window. He had his window down. And I said, you good? And then he said some other things with expletives. And I was like, well, what up then? And then he's like slowly pulled away. And I was like, where are you going? Don't you want to talk about this some more? And what I realized was I'm like escalating with this guy.
Yes.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
What the heck are you doing on the road? And then you're going to cuss at me about it?
Right.
Driving down the middle of the road with your big old truck, your super heavy duty truck.
Yeah.
I'm in my little freaking Prius. I might have a Prius, but I'm not. Let's go. Like, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
And then he slowly pulled off, and I'm still like, hey, I'm still here. Where you at? You know? Where the heck does that come? Where's all my namaste or my, all my practices in a world where the world comes up to me and says, hey, fuck you, buddy. And I'm like, oh, fuck me?
Yeah.
No, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm 48, man.
Yeah.
I don't need that smoke.
Yeah.
If he would have got out the car, I've got zero martial artistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a martial artist, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah. And what is going on?
That's what I'm asking myself now. This happened like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why couldn't I just say I'm sorry?
Well,
Or,
yeah. I mean, that's not true.
well, de-escalate.
Yeah.
What? Well, part of me wants a little warrior vibe, I guess, or a little
Well, maybe you want a place for your anger.
a place for it. Mm-hmm. I don't need to put it on that strange guy who's already angry.
Right.
Like, you don't walk the earth that way unless there's some anger already there.
Right.
Do I need a place for my anger?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you need a place for your anger?
I do.
Where do you put it?
In a punching bag. Or
Really?
yeah.
But what about what fires together wires together?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that it's all about time and, I mean, there's context, you know?
Right.
So I think sometimes it's like I need a discharge and I want to physically kind of release,
Yeah.
you know? And so the punching bag feels really good,
Yeah.
you know?
Because you're just like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The world's bad and evil, and you're just beating the crud out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think if that's something that I did on a regular, I have no idea.
What other ways do you get anger out?
Anger out? I mean, what I try to do is diffuse it consistently, you know? And so I think that goes kind of back to you know, our conversations about like being really self-aware, right? And noticing, oh, I'm feeling frustrated by this conversation,
Right.
And so I'll say that, you know, like with my kids when they're arguing nonstop and they're not listening and they're interrupting, then I'll say, I'm feeling really frustrated in this moment. I'm going to take a break. Right. And that diffuses it.
Right.
Whereas if I didn't say that and I didn't take a break, then it would build and then I would feel really angry. So I think a lot of times, like, that's what I do with my anger. I feel it and I try to diffuse it.
Diffuse it, yeah.
And then other times where it feels stuck and it's like multiple things kind of, you know, then I might physically release it, like punching the punching bag.
Is that your little vibrating?
Sometimes, yeah, I do this. And I like immediately, I'm like, oh, I feel a little better just now.
Just that little
just
bit?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wonder if, when I see if you need a place for your anger, like I wonder if there was other things kind of throughout the week that were kind of building up or,
Yeah.
you know.
I wonder. That's something to think about. Because I could have nonviolent committed that guy. Mm-hmm. When I see you drive down the road in the middle of the street, I feel scared. Mm-hmm. And I feel angry. Because I've got a need for respect and a need for cooperation. Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to fuck right up?
Move the fuck over.
Get out here. This is my neighborhood. No. Would you be willing to, like, stop cussing at me? Would you be willing to? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Goodness. Mm-hmm. Diffuse it in little bits.
Mm-hmm.